Hey guys, your host D Rhino, and today's a Tuesday. Man, how the days going by. It just felt like it was yesterday when this month started. It feels kind of odd, man. So when you get older, time flies by. Maybe that's because we have a lot more responsibilities when we're adults. Maybe that's the case. So I guess I want to talk about uh, maybe like entertainment. Movies, cartoons, film. I already said movies. Manga, comic books, and all that. It's not really a rant or anything, so I'll let you guys know that it's not like that. It's more of appreciating uh, what we got back then and what we have today, I guess. Uh, you know, growing up and seeing like the different like styles of animation, it really comes to show that like there's natural talent usually. No, now don't get me wrong. Some animation styles are lazy. I'm not gonna name a few, but when I look at them, I'm like, Jesus, jeez, they're like, ooh, man, I'm like, how did they get a cartoon? But hey, guess I can't really criticize them that much since I haven't, I'm nowhere near their style. But I mean, I don't know. But for real though, like seeing all the different types of animations growing up, it's like I guess it's like a spectacle in a way because it's what made those animations stand out. Now, yeah, some of them are similar, but there's still like a distinct difference with it. Like for example, back when I was growing up, it was Courage the Cowardly Dog and Ed and Eddie. Different styles used, a little bit similar, just a little bit, but there was major different styles. And this, of course, this is right around the time when like 3D models were still being embraced. So it wasn't like fully fleshed out how it is now. So, oh man, that is some primitive stuff back then. Wow. If I pause for a minute, guys, it's either because I'm thinking or I'm taking a drink from this sparkling water. There was a Oh man, speaking of primitive 3D modeling, it's not bad. Well, from my memory, it's not bad. But if I see it now, it probably is. I don't know. It's been a long time, but think of the show Code Lyoko. That used to be on Cartoon Network. It would balance out between, for the longest time. Before I get any further into that, for the longest time, I thought that was an anime, but it turns out it was made in France. So I guess I'll call it a French anime, even though it's not anime, because the 2D style and 3D style that were used, it definitely reminded me of anime. Now that I think about it, that's crazy. But yeah, I would watch that. I would watch that religiously because I really love that show, and I still remember like the guy with the blonde hair like his hair was like standing up or whatever. The girl with the pink hair, like she was like the key to everything. I think there was some guy with glasses who was like sort of the main character. There were all main characters. There was like more of them too. There was like a girl with black short hair. I can't remember all of them, but those are the ones I mostly remember. And they would have to go against these. these monsters that were like a threat to like some system or whatever, and they will go in, and that's how they go from 2D 3D world, is basically it would affect their 2D, like the real world for them was the 2D realm. Their that when there'd be actually hand drawn animation, but they'll go into the 3D, which obviously it speaks for itself, where they're actually 3D models, and they have to like rush uh, to this checkpoint. I'm gonna say, and fix the server. It was something. It's been a long time, guys. I can barely remember it. But that was the whole. But basically, that was like the premise of it. It was like a. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like Persona, in my opinion. How stuff would be affected in their world, and then they have to go to another world to fix it, or reality, or whatever. Yeah, I should buy that. I should try to find that show again. That was a good show. But I come to appreciate it, though. I mean, I try not to take a lot of things for granted. I know there's a lot of people out there who are not as fortunate as me, and who would love to be in the position that I am. Uh, I try to savor the smallest moments and appreciate what the family I'm in, and how I was raised and everything. I try my best. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves. We get a little prideful, a little cocky. It's totally natural, but don't be excessive with it. I mean, that's common sense right there, but in this day and age, man, it seems like common sense is just out the window. So, I guess you guys might be wondering why I'm not like doing much of like video, like showing stuff, and just there's just more audio. I don't know. I don't know why I started doing this. Maybe it's a little phase, but I kind of like doing this audio stuff where I'm just talking and there's like a black screen. I mean, that's what relaxes me. It might relax some people. I know that you guys are not like me, so everyone has a difference, but I thought it would be more of a intimate video where it's just one that you can just listen to and just while you're doing something, So thought that would be something to help clear people's mind or whatever they wanted to listen to it. Uh, so no, nothing to like visually watch. Just listen to the background. Those are usually some nice videos, to be honest. I'm not sure if I'm doing a good job of it, but it's something. But getting back into the topic, I mean, if you want to go back to like the old ones too, and I'm talking like Tom and Jerry old, those were, I guess those were kind of impressive because, I mean, during that time there wasn't much of this. They didn't have much of the like different, I guess, tools. I could say like they didn't have the tools like that we have now, so they were working more with their hands and all that. And don't get me wrong, we always work with our hands, but when it's just a difference in time when before all that stuff came out, like you know what I mean, like there's just I can't think of the name of them, and I used it too before. Darn, I cannot think of the name, but they would work more with what they had, and like what we have now, where it is just we have a lot more assistance. I'm gonna say we have a lot more assistance than what they had. So I think that's kind of cool too, how people back then would just crunch out hours and it would be a longer process, I guess. And cartoons weren't even like as explosive, like more explosive as they are now. Even like, I mean, it's the same thing with voice acting. It wasn't explosive. It wasn't really considered a real, like a real job or whatever, or that's what I've been told back then until like basically a few decades ago. That's crazy. It's kind of crazy. Oh, and I have my fan on too. So if the audio sounds a little weird, it's because of the fan. It's still hot in here. I don't I don't know if kind of it's not really a big concern or worry, but it does make me think like with the newer generations coming in, will they see the old stuff that we've seen and compared to how things are now if they really want to look into it. And it's kind of a serious topic because um, with things being so sensitive these days, and you have to literally put trigger warnings on certain shows or movies. It's like, come on, stop holding people's hand, man. You can give them, I guess, like a warning, like, hey, this is not for uh, like a youth audience or whatever. Have a rating up there, but I don't. I think it's totally unnecessary to have trigger warnings. That's only adding to the weakness of people. Like, and I think it's like an insult to people too, where they think we're stupid and that we don't know what we're getting into. I mean, there's a reason why there's a rating on there first of all, and there's a summary of whatever. And there's also previews too. Come on now, you know, that's what streaming services have nowadays. There's a reason why we have trailers. This get a glimpse of, okay, this is what I would want to watch, or this is not what I want to watch. So yeah, I think those trigger warnings are very, very stupid, unnecessary. And on top of that, there's also that, like, them editing scenes or taking scenes out. That's another thing right there. That's messing with art. It is as it should be. Intended. There's a reason why it's there. And if you take something out like that, then you're only defiling the art, in my opinion. Um, Classic example, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. They cared so much more about, you know, uh, actual, let's just say, scenes pertaining to a female character than actually talking about how they're going to fix certain bugs in the game or how to balance out graphics. That's what I'm serious. Like, they worry more about specific camera angles of a woman than caring about the game, the actual stuff that runs the game. When it comes down to stuff like that, it just like it just it's kind of it's like hypocrisy, man. Because um, it deals. I mean, look at the film industry, right? They're worried about taking out these scenes, but yet when they make a new movie, they have the exact same scenes that are uncensored, and it's like, okay, you're you're treating us like we're idiots. And going back to Mass Effect, they actually had, I don't know if they kept the sex scenes in the trilogy. I'm not in the remastered trilogy. I'm not sure, nor do I care. But in Mass Effect Andromeda, uh, the sex scenes have full on nudity. Well, except for the nether regions, let's say, except for that area. But they were showing a lot more than the what the trilogy, I'm sorry, what the trilogy had shown. So that was the first, and I'm just thinking like, okay, that's kind of stupid that you guys are backtracking on it because are you not gonna do the same to Andromeda? I mean, it's a food for thought, man. It's like it's like, okay, are you guys like, why are you guys just doing this? Like, it's just a waste of time and energy, and that's also costing them money too. Because I mean, let's be honest, sex sells. Now, I'm not the type of guy who like cares about all that, but I mean, you got one at some point you gotta like stand up and criticize them for making those decisions when it makes absolutely no sense when they're gonna turn around and do it again. It's like, do you actually like stand for it, or do you stand against it? Like I'm kind of getting mixed signals here, you know. Like, stop with the mind games. But I don't know if that adds to like the unhealthiness of the Western. Well, I'm gonna say American because I am from America. The American industry, entertainment industry. I mean, I'm not sure, but what I am sure of is that if the way they keep doing these things, um, indie developers are rising up, and they have been rising up for quite a while now, because they know that if they mess up, no one is going to come in and save them, basically, and they have no backing really. The only real backing they have is from actual fans. They don't have like investors. Usually, they don't have investors and all that. So they're not like a multi-million-dollar company or whatever, like Activision, EA, all that. So they understand that if they screw up, it could cost them dearly. And I totally think that people just keep on giving those industries, not any industries, but like the legacy stuff, stuff that's been there for a long, long time. Um, I think people just are not like, they don't know what's going on, or they don't care, and you'll still give them money. I was talking to a friend yesterday who we were talking about Star Wars, all because I sent him a picture, and it was pretty cool too. And we ended up talking about like Star Wars Visions. The basically reminds me of Halo Legends, just a compilation of stories, but it's by Japanese creators. And so I mean, honestly, I think I made a video on that where it looks and sounds good. Um, I definitely do want to see a particular episode that involves like the old man Sith Lord or something with the dual lightsaber blades. That looks cool, but I mean, I'm not gonna give Disney my money just because of their actions. And it's not specifically Star Wars related. It's more of what they like, more moral, like what they have done morally. Um, but it's stuff like that. I'm sorry, but that's what we were talking about, and he said that Okay, yeah, I know that I don't like them as a company, but if they were to make merchandise of a certain character, I would definitely buy it. That's what he basically, that's the sum of it right there, for what he was talking about. Yeah, I know that's gonna be a thing. Like if they were to make merchandise of that character, I think it would sell quite well, if the story is good. So so I it's like he knows, but he just doesn't care, because um, it just comes to that one character or whatever. And I'm not here to criticize people of what they spend their money on. If you spend your money on your hard-earned money on something you want, something you like, go right ahead. Go right ahead. But just know that you're further gonna uh, signal to those companies that we don't care about the abuse, as long as you give us what we want. So I mean, it's kind of messed up in a way. That's what it seems like to me. I mean, I personally wouldn't give a company my money if they kept bashing me. I mean, that's just how I think. That's just me. For everyone else, it's different. So, uh, don't know. You know what? This might be a rant. I 21 minutes in, and I'm figuring out this might be a rant, but it's not me yelling or anything. So it's more like me just going through my mind, like going through my thoughts, what's on my mind, speaking freely, no script or anything. So, but yeah, I just think like the evolution of like the entertainment industry for America is odd. Just seeing how stuff back then was, and then seeing how it is now. Even though I didn't live through like the old stuff, because obviously I wasn't born at that time. Uh, but trying, learning from it and everything, it's like there are big changes due to technology, uh, different people as well, and of course different decisions, different decisions. Those are all accounted for when it comes to the when it comes to things being changed for better or worse. And I just think that people are just, not everyone, but people are just afraid, or they're just not interested in trying to revisit the past and learn from it, or they're just trying to just get rid of it, parts of it. I mean, to fit their little, I don't know, thought, idea, maybe, I don't know, and trying to say, okay, hey, this one's better because blah blah blah, or that one's better, and just, it just mixes things up and mashes it like potato. And I, I I think that's not for the best. I mean, this can be applied to like real life stuff too as well when it comes to like schooling. I mean, notice what they're talking about in schools, these public schools, maybe even these private schools too. I haven't seen anything with private schools yet. Maybe that's because I haven't been looking deep enough, but I mean, public schooling, man. I mean, look at what they're trying to say. What these teachers are trying to say. What the school districts are trying to say, man. They're. It's not really for your kid. It's not. They don't have your interest. They don't have the best interest for your kid. They have the best interest for them only and what they believe in. Instead of actually teaching facts, they rather teach about feelings. I'm not saying all schools are like that, but it is scary that I'm seeing way too many schools talk about that uh, stuff. Talk about stuff that is just irrelevant. Yeah, it's no business being there. It's not teaching kids how to build skills, how to be a better person, how to empower them. It's more like blaming other people for their misfortunes, their bad luck, I guess, instead of look at themselves and saying, okay, I'll do better. I'll try to be more responsible. I'll try to manage my time more. That's probably gonna be a video for another time. I'm not gonna get too in there, but because the topic is about entertainment industry, but it's crazy how it kind of correlates with certain things, and I guess that people just don't want to take a lot of accountability because I think we are becoming narcissistic, and we're blaming people for our own struggles. And that's exactly what the entertainment industry is doing. Look at Black Widow, the newest Disney movie. It got a lot. It got a lot of money the first week, I believe, but when its second week came, it wasn't reaching like end game numbers. It will never reach that. I already knew that was going to happen because it's not end game, and but it wasn't even. It got beat by the newest Space Jam, which is terrible. So that's telling you something. But people are blaming Black Widow's unsuccess by blaming it on other people. I mean, it's not like they're not taking accountability. I mean, what was going to happen? Like, what do you think was going to happen if you like say like it will make men squeamish, and it's not really for men, and it's about Me Too and all this and that. That's not what the character represents. The character represents being an assassin, being an Avenger later on. Finding herself and being thrown into something that alters her reality for a long time, and she deals with it. That's not Black Widow. Black Widow is not about all that weak stuff. She's a very strong female character in the right ways, not in the bad ways. And in the bad ways, I mean as in the woke stuff. I mean, you gotta give her character as to why she is who she is. But I guess it's a hard thing for these highly weird people to fathom, because I guess that's how they are. Not saying all of them are like that, but I guess that's how a lot of them are. They expect a lot of things to happen for them instead of them earning it. I mean, that's my opinion, but from what I've seen, with what history has shown us, and especially in recent days, that's what it seems like to me. They don't really earn it. They just go on by because they're the ones that are privileged. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm just the average Joe, you know. I don't have thousands and thousands of dollars in the bank, but they do if they manage it right. And I don't really care about being rich or anything, but I'm pointing out that the hypocrisy again. Like they say that uh, white men are privileged, but yeah, when you look at them, they're the ones who are white. I'm sorry, not white, but the ones who are who are actually privileged. I mean, there are they. It's like they don't consider that there are actually poor white guys as well. You know, I mean, they act like there's haven't been white people who struggled hard before. So again, the tactics of blaming other people for stuff and not actually uh, trying to figure out the problem, not trying to come up with a solution, just passing the blame onto someone else. That's the American entertainment industry today. That is what it is, and I think that's what it's going to be for a long time because it's convenient and it's easy for them to do because they can't face the actual truth. They can't face actual facts. It's all about feelings. It's all about emotion. It's all about thinking and thoughts instead of just constructive constructive use of criticism and owning up to the mistakes and being a better person. Of course, it's easier to say than to actually do, but that's what builds character, right? That's what builds up good morality. Uh, and as a way I try to do that, I try to build myself in a positive light. I try to be a good person. I may struggle here and there because, I mean, humans are flawed. We are flawed people. It just depends on how flawed we are. You know? Thankfully, I'm not that flawed. I don't want to be too flawed. And I'm not saying as in, like, being, like just being, like disabled or whatever. I mean as in, uh, people who just can't learn from their mistakes. That's what I mean by I learn from my mistakes. That do it once, um, do something bad once, and you just like okay, I'm not gonna do that again. That's pretty stupid of me, or make a mistake, you know. Well, with these guys, they don't really learn from their mistakes because they're incentivized to keep on doing it because of the atmosphere they are in, the the setting they set for themselves, and just how it is just being surrounded by fake people. That you think that are friends but actually aren't friends, and just waiting for you to slip up and stab you in the back, and vice versa. Those are the type of people that that are just horrible people, unfulfilled people, hollow, very hollow people. I guess I'll end the video like this with a question. How do you think you can succeed if you just keep blaming others for your actions? How can you succeed if you keep putting the truth away in a box while you take out the lies and try to pass them on as the truth. Well, I guess that's. I'm not sure if that sounds right, but that's okay. You know, I talk long. I talked long enough, so I'll see you guys next time. Peace.